Welcome back to the channel. It's time to talk about the very best comic books that you can buy this week, and I'll be honest up front, it's not a very good comic book week. I haven't read as much as I normally would have because I'm coming off vacation, but what I did read wasn't all that great. Even the recommends that we do have, for me at least, are pretty tepid. Here to talk with me about that is Drew from Comics Lead. How you doing, Drew?
Doing all right. It's been a busy week, but yeah, this week in comics wasn't that strong, and next week a little foreshadowing isn't that much better either. So let's talk about what good stuff we did have.
I guess it's my highest recommendation this week is from Valiant Comics to Indie Seed, Bloodshot Unleashed #3, Dennis Camp, John Davis Hunt. I don't know that 3 issues in you should be diverting off of the main story to do a team-up book with X-O Manowar, but X-O Manowar is my favorite character in all of comic books, not just Valiant Comics, so I kind of like the team-up here. I don't know exactly why the aliens are there, but I do like seeing Bloodshot and X-O Manowar, Erica Dacia as reluctant partners to go and fight these guys, and the art from John Davis Hunt was really the strong point of the comic book issue, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and honestly, his art is arguably the strongest point of the series itself. You know, and to be honest with you perfectly, I think he's being underutilized in this series. I think his best stuff was in Book of Shadows and with Shadow Man. I think that's where we really saw him shine and just really burst. But it's okay. But like you said, we're 3 issues in, and it's like, this series hasn't really been coming out that consistently. This is pretty much the only title right now outside of Book of Shadows, which is coming out inconsistently from Valiant. Do we need this big crossover right now? It's like, I don't know, maybe to remind people that X-O Manowar exists, or I guess maybe a big series coming soon. Maybe we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I thought it was all right. You know, it's a lot better than a lot of other stuff we got from the big 2. I'll say that.
Yeah, this just wasn't a banner week, but if you like X-O Manowar, you're likely not to see the character until at least the middle of next year, and I would actually say you're probably not going to see that either. It doesn't sound like things are good at Valiant Comics right now. I do agree they should have left John Davis Hunt on the Shadow Man stuff, but this is a good, fun comic book. It's not amazing, but it is probably the best one that I read this week, and that's all the indie stuff we have to talk about. It was kind of a low-key week in indie comics. Let's go over to Marvel. Last week, we didn't have any recommendations. This week, we have 2. I'm recommending Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise #1, Tradmore illustrating and writing this one. I'm not sure exactly what the story is. I'm not sure exactly what happens in here, but the art is absolutely amazing. I don't know if I wanted to see Doctor Strange like melting away and all this kind of weird stuff, but Tradmore is a very interesting comic book artist, and it really fits the character here. I wish there was a stronger writer on it, but if you want to see something that looks absolutely trippy, maybe you like that Silver Surfer story that he did with Donny Cates back in the day, I think you're going to like this one. But if you're looking for hard-hitting story or maybe even a plot line that's understandable, you might not get that here, but it is very cool to look at.
Absolutely, you know, and one thing you hit the nail on the head. This is a great trippy story, and it really reminded me of the early Ditko stuff that Steve Ditko was doing with Doctor Strange. Just how trippy that artwork was, just how surreal that artwork was. And I think if you did love the early Ditko stuff, you will love this story because yeah, it goes all over the place. You have magical deer, monsters he has to fight off, and it looks like he might be in a bit of spot of trouble at the end. He might have gotten kidnapped. Yeah. I enjoyed the first issue. Yeah, it's not clear about what's really happening other than he got kidnapped and he's in a possible magical realm. But yeah, Tradmore, he is a terrific artist, and I really hope we get a few more explanations in issue 2. Yeah, you can't go wrong with this issue.
Definitely going to need some more explanations, but this really is a showcase piece really for Tradmore as an artist, and it absolutely does that. It accomplishes that goal. Let's go over to your big Marvel Comics recommendation. Miracleman, the Silver Age #2, Neil Gaiman, Mark Buckingham. I personally have not read this one. I know that you're an enormous Miracleman fan, and you're excited to have it back, and it sounds like this was your favorite comic of the week.
Yes, it absolutely was. This was my comic of the week and my co-host of the week. I didn't want to give her the issue 1 or 2 of this because I'm throwing you into a deep pond in this. I don't want you to drown because, yeah, leave it to me. I got this one. But yeah, what's interesting here is that we have alleged heroes, but they're being paraded around through New York City like it's a fascist parade march through a city, like something you would see down in Russia, the Middle East, or Cuba. The Miracle family, we got to remember in this point in this story, they're not superheroes. They are more or less dictators now. And make no mistake about that. So Miracleman even makes a reference at one point to Brave New World, because this is the world they have created now. Big Brother watches everything. He watches everything. And it's also very interesting to see a young Miracleman, as he's been brought back to life, say his prayers to God, when in fact he is a god himself. I mean, where does God fit into a world like this? Great, interesting topics, great talking points with this. And there's great topics about absolute power, gods, sexuality, everything. You can't go wrong with this. The substance you didn't get in Doctor Strange, you get in the substance with this, Miracleman, the Silver Age #2.
So those are our Marvel Comics recommendations for the week. Let's go over to DC. We got a couple there to talk about. I'm recommending DC versus Vampires #11. James Tynion, Matt Rosenberg, Otto Schmidt on art here. We are getting to the end game here. We have our survivors left, and Barbara Gordon bought him some time using the bat signal and kind of fighting off some vampires. That doesn't last very long, but it really appears that Kara Zor-El has the big plan. It's a lot of fun. It's a popcorn comic book. Leave your brain at home. Although I'm not sure what happened to Constantine. I thought he was dead or something, and all of a sudden he's back here. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't understand the Constantine point either. But there's a lot going on. There's three fronts effectively going on in this. We got our heroes in Gotham, in Australia, and in Smallville. And they're pretty much making their last stands in this issue. But yeah, it's like little subplots like that. Wait a minute, Constantine. Wait, I forgot about him. Oh, is he alive? Dead? I forgot. Who cares? They're killing vampires. But yeah, the rush. I do love what they're doing with Kara Zor-El. They're pretty much setting her up as, the last beacon of hope. Hopefully they can get her, away from Earth to bring back, the sun, bring back hope to Earth. Get rid of the vampires. But we'll see what happens. And Lobo, the main man, he makes a little appearance in this. He throws a little wrench into the machine of the certain plans, which is always a lot of fun. Yeah, you cannot go wrong with this. This was a truly fun event series, even though you can just shut your brain off and enjoy it, which is how you should do it. Yeah, DC versus Vampires #11 does not disappoint.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for something that's going to be a fun read, definitely it's a quick read, lots of action in there, fun time to be had. The final recommendation for DC Comics. This is your big recommendation, Action Comics 1049, Philip Kennedy Johnson, Mike Perkins on art. We are getting towards Action Comics 1050 in the rebirth of the DC Superman family of comic books. We're getting Clark Kent back as Superman. We're getting an anthology comic book in Action Comics, and it looks like we're building up towards a Superman event coming up in 2023. But first, they need to get the Superman family right. That's kind of what this is all about.
Yeah, it is. And, what's great, but we also have Mike Perkins on the art. This is the second issue he's done. I love Mike Perkins' art. And we get Superman kicking some butt in this issue. He's fighting Orion and Calabac. And also, we got Luthor in this. It looks like he may have finally persuaded Metallo to join him. Well, we'll see what happens with that. And we got a decision that Superman makes that could really go either way for humanity in this. And what exactly is Luthor up to? You got to read to find out. There's so many moving pieces in this issue. That's one thing I really loved about this. I compared this to Detective Comics this week. Detective Comics came out this past week, and it really felt like Romby kind of fumbled the ball on juggling the different subplots. Whereas in this one, Philip Kennedy Johnson did a better job handling the subplots in this, because there's a lot of moving parts, setting up things for the future. And I really cannot wait for the Metallo stuff and Lex Luthor stuff. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, you cannot go wrong with this. Philip Kennedy Johnson's doing a solid job in Action Comics.
So those are our recommendations for the week. Like we said, it's kind of a light week, and don't expect much more better than that next week, because it is a fifth release week within the month. So we're going to get a lot of annuals and stuff like that, a bunch of comic books that in the bigger scheme of things don't really matter. I do want to say thank you very much to Drew from Comics Elite. Do you have any words, Drew?
Yes, go check out Born of Blood 3 next week, guys, and go check out the Miss Meow #5 on Kickstarter. Cannot go wrong with those.
Hopefully we'll be getting much better comic books in the near future, but it wasn't a great week, and that's just how it is. I talk about comic books every single day here on the channel. If you've just discovered me, or maybe you want some more Thinking Critical, but you're not sure exactly which video I've made for you, well, YouTube looked at what you like to watch and what I like to create, and they've decided this is the video I created specifically for you. Definitely check this one out for some more Thinking Critical YouTube.